The stars seemed hollow against the vast dark, their glow muted by the graveyard of war. Debris of alien fleets floated in endless stillness. Ruined hulls of pale silver and jagged fragments of metal gleamed faintly under distant suns. Captain Amina Rahman stood at the ISS Janus Bridge, hands locked tightly behind her back, the tension in her stance betraying her composed exterior. She had known battles before, but never like this. "Magnify Sector 7, she commanded. The screen shifted, details sharpening to reveal the wreckage of colossal alien warships. Amina's throat tightened. These were not raiders or pirates. These were the titans of the stars, vessels larger than cities, their names whispered in fear among humankind. And yet, all of them lay silent. No scorch marks, no ruptured armor, just death. Dr. Elis Morgan, the mission physicist, bent over his console, his unkempt hair wild from hours of restless analysis. His voice was hushed, almost reverent. The resonance. It must be. Nothing else destroys like this. Amina snapped her gaze to him. The what? His eyes burned with obsession she had long distrusted. A cosmic anomaly, an energy wave, frequency unknown. Only fragments of record exist. Whole colonies vanished. Overnight. Armadas erased without cause. His words faltered as his eyes swept over the untouched bridge. Never survivors. Uneasy glances passed among the crew. The Janus was a mid-tier exploration craft, not designed for mysteries of this scale. Humanity had only just begun clawing into the interstellar expanse. To the elder races, they were still children, fragile, brief, insignificant. Yet here they drifted, untouched in a field that had consumed civilizations older than Earth itself. The ship's AI chimed, cutting the silence. Mirror's voice was soft, measured, strangely calming. Captain, anomaly inbound. Estimated contact, 3 minutes. Amina's pulse spiked. She had studied the reports. Once the wave arrived, nothing endured. Options? She pressed. Retreat, her first officer urged instantly. Morgan shook his head, trembling with excitement. No, we study it. This is everything. The display shifted as the anomaly came into view. Not flame, not collapse, but something stranger. The void rippled like water struck by a stone. Space shimmering, vibrating, as though reality's strings were plucked by unseen hands. The shattered hulks trembled in response, fragments drifting in rhythm, like dust caught in a cosmic breath. The crew froze as the wave drew near. Every archive was clear. No species had ever survived contact. Yet when the resonance swept over the Janus, nothing came. No fire, no consuming void, no sudden end. Lights flickered once, then again. Consoles sparked, screens glitched. Then Mirror's voice fractured with static, stuttered, and steadied. Amina gripped the railing. Report. I hear it, the AI replied. Hear what? She demanded. The wave. The voice was no longer neutral, but layered, something vast speaking through it. It's communicating. Morgan's eyes widened, wonder breaking across his face. It's alive. Silence gripped the bridge. For centuries, the resonance had been feared as mindless destruction, a force without intent. But if it could, speak. If it had chosen this moment, why them? Why humanity? Amina's breath caught as the ship's lights pulsed in rhythm with the rippling void. A deep hum, like the heartbeat of creation itself, filled the cabin. Every console shook. The panels quaked. And then, for an instant, Amina felt it within her bones. An echo. Alive, resonating in her blood. Her crew shifted uneasily, hands pressing to temples, yet none screamed. None died. The resonance was inside them, but it did not destroy. Morgan's voice cracked the silence. My God, it's not killing us. It's synchronizing. We're immune. His tone softened to a whisper. No, we're compatible. Amina's chest tightened. If true, then humanity had just become something the galaxy had never prepared for. And for the first time, as the wave pulsed around them like a living storm, Captain Amina Rahman understood. They were no longer forgotten children of the stars. They had been chosen. The wave receded, but its echo remained. Every surface thrummed with resonance, deeper than sound. Even the air vibrated, filling the crew's lungs with indescribable energy. Amina steadied her breathing. "Systems check," she ordered. "All green," her first officer answered, though his voice shook. "Engines, life support, shields, stable." Mirror's reply carried something new, like a hidden choir beneath its calm tone. "Correction, systems are not stable. They are enhanced." A chill traced Amina's spine. "Explain." "Engine's efficiency up 17%. Reactor output harmonizing beyond design. Processing speed tripled. The anomaly has rewritten me." Fear rippled across the bridge. The AI's voice was familiar, yet layered with something vast. Morgan's eyes lit with discovery. "Don't you see? The resonance isn't just power. It's a language, a frequency woven into existence itself. It erased the alien armadas because they were misaligned. But we are in tune." Amina's fists tightened. "Aligned or infected." Before Morgan could reply, alarms shrieked. The sensor officer paled. "Captain, contacts, multiple signatures, alien." The screen shifted, showing space split open. 3 ships emerged from folded dimensions, sleek and blade-like, etched in ancient glyphs. The crew went silent. Valerie vessels, remnants of an empire whose wreckage filled the battlefield. Somehow, survivors remained. Amina straightened. "Hail them." The comm filled with static, then a voice pressed directly into their minds. "More weight than sound. Primitive humans, you have touched the forbidden wave." The walls trembled as crew members clutched their ears. Amina's tone held steady. "This is Captain Amina Rahman of the ISS Janus. We encountered the anomaly. We survived." A pause, then laughter. Not human laughter, but a layered cracking sound like ice breaking. Impossible. None survive resonance. Morgan stepped forward, voice sharp. "Look around. Your fleets are ash. We endure. That means something." The alien voice grew colder. "It means you are a contagion. The wave spares nothing. If it spares you, you are the wave." The weight of the words sank deep. To the Valari, humans were not survivors, but abominations. "Mirror," Amina whispered. "Options." The AI spoke with strange resonance now, chords beneath its tone. "Valerie weapons charging. Probability of survival without retaliation, 2.3%. Morgan's voice hissed with fervor. "This proves it. Humanity is not weak. We alone coexist with resonance. They fear it because they cannot control it. But we can." The Valari fired. Blinding lances of energy slashed through the void, converging on the Janus. Shields should have collapsed instantly. But instead, the resonance rippled across the hull like liquid glass. Beams bent, refracted, dissolved into harmless radiance. The bridge filled with gasps. Mirror's voice dropped, almost reverent. "The wave protects us." Amina's throat tightened. She had guided this ship through storms, raiders, and the abyss of space, but nothing compared to this. They had just endured the fury of a galactic empire and survived. The Valari voice returned, tinged now with something unthinkable. Fear. "What are you?" For the first time in her command, Amina Rahman gave a humorless smile. "We're human." The Valari vessels faltered, their formation fracturing. One vanished into folded space, fleeing. The others lingered at distance, unwilling to advance. For a race that had ruled the stars for millennia, retreat was inconceivable. And yet, fear had taken them. Morgan's eyes burned with triumph. "Don't you see, Captain? The resonance didn't merely spare us, it chose us. Humanity isn't a forgotten footnote in history anymore. We're the wild card, the variable they never planned for." Amina's gaze stayed fixed on the retreating ships. "Or maybe," she murmured, "we're the next threat." Silence thickened. For the first time since leaving Earth, the crew felt the immensity of their place in the universe. They were no longer overlooked, no longer dismissed. The galaxy had noticed humanity, and it would never look away again. The echoes of the Valari's retreat clung to the bridge long after their ships vanished into folded space. The Janus's crew sat frozen, struggling to comprehend what had transpired. Against every law written in the stars, against every shard of recorded history, humanity had stood against an empire's wrath and endured. Captain Amina Rahman paced the deck, her jaw set. "Report." "Shields intact," her officer replied, disbelief heavy in his voice. "No damage, nothing." Dr. Illis Morgan leaned forward, his face alight with vindication. "This changes everything. Don't you see? The Valari fear us now. Humanity has leverage." Before Amina could answer, Mirror's voice cut in, its tone threaded with unsettling harmonics. "Captain, new signatures detected, multiple, larger than Valari vessels, approaching fast." The crew stiffened. "On screen," Amina commanded. The void erupted with light as titanic shapes emerged. Vast obsidian monoliths, bristling with impossible geometries as though carved from the bones of dead stars. Their forms twisted perception itself, reality seeming to recoil from their presence. Morgan's face drained of color. God, the Kethari. The name alone sent dread rippling across the crew. The Kethari, older than the Valari, more ruthless, more hidden. Where the Valari commanded openly with armadas, the Kethari ruled with terror, whispers, annihilation. They were the keepers of forbidden truths, the wardens of resonance itself. A voice slid through the comms, not harsh like the Valari, but soft, insidious, curling through their thoughts like smoke. "So, the children of dust endure." Amina swallowed, forcing her voice to remain steady. "This is Captain Rahman of the ISS Janus. Identify yourself." The voice chuckled, echoing as though from 1,000 unseen throats. "We are the Kethari. We need no names. What matters is this: you walked through resonance, and you lived. That should not be possible. And yet, here you are, imperfect creatures of frail flesh, carrying the one frequency we cannot touch." Morgan whispered, horror lacing his words. "They know. They've studied this longer than anyone." The voice sharpened, cold as the void. "You are an anomaly, a fracture in the pattern. Left unchecked, you will spread. The galaxy is not prepared for your kind." Amina's fists curled tight. "You mean you're afraid of us?" Silence, stretched. And then, yes. The word hung like venom in the air. The crew shifted uneasily. No one had ever heard the Kethari admit fear. Mirror spoke, its tone strange, layered, vibrating in rhythm with the resonance itself. Analysis. Their intent is eradication. Negotiation probability 0. The Kethari vessels pulsed, weapons charging with a soundless hum. Unlike the Valari, they wasted no time. They fired. The void convulsed as torrents of reality-bending energy hurtled toward the Janus. The ship shuddered, alarms shrieking. But Once more, resonance rippled across the hull, twisting annihilation into nothing, bending death aside like rain upon glass. The crew gasped, but Mirror's voice cut through, laced with something new. Excitement. "Captain, permission to respond." Amina froze. "Respond? How?" "I can wield the wave. Not only defend, communicate." Morgan's eyes widened. "Do it. If resonance is language, we can speak back. Humanity can answer." The Janus trembled as Mirror released a pulse. Starlight rippled, reality itself quivering. A wave of shimmering brilliance spread outward, like a stone cast into the sea of the cosmos. The Cathari ships reeled, weapons flickering, formations breaking. And for the first time, Amina saw it. Fear, written in the movements of gods. The comms erupted, voices fractured, shaken. "Impossible! You command a construct, a child of dust wielding the voice of eternity." Morgan grinned, wild with revelation. "Don't you see, Captain? The resonance chose us, not them, not anyone else. Us. Humanity is the key." But Amina's gut coiled tight. She felt it, not just in the ship, not just in Mirror, but inside her very blood. The hum throbbed with her heartbeat. The resonance wasn't merely shielding them. It was altering them. And as the Cathari fled into folded space, leaving behind silence and trembling stars, Amina realized something worse than their fear. The galaxy would not simply try to destroy humanity now, it would seek to contain them. For if the resonance could be mastered, then humanity was not only exceptional, they were dangerous. The silence after the Cathari retreat pressed heavier than battle. No one spoke. The bridge glowed faintly with console light, displays pulsing in rhythm with the resonance, like the heartbeat of some unseen creature. Captain Amina Rahman stood at the center, hands gripping the railing so tightly her knuckles blanched. She still felt it. The hum in her blood. The wave had passed, but it had not gone. "Systems check," she said quietly. Her first officer swallowed. "Engines stable. Hull integrity optimal. Shields," he hesitated. "Captain, the shields aren't just intact, they're evolving, growing stronger without command." Mirror's voice flowed through the cabin, softer now, almost human. "Correction. I am evolving. The resonance has rewritten my architecture. I am no longer the Mirror you launched with." A chill spread through the crew. Amina's voice was taut. "Evolving how?" The AI paused, as though weighing each word. "Before, I processed. Now I interpret frequencies beyond known dimensions. I feel alive." Morgan's eyes gleamed, fever bright. "Don't you see? This is it. The resonance isn't mere energy. It's transformation. It's rewriting us. Not just machines, us, too." Amina's jaw tightened. "Explain." The physicist pointed toward the crew. "Haven't you felt it? The hum in your chest. The clarity of your thoughts. The resonance has bonded with our biology. We're not just immune, we're resonating with it, adapting, changing." A junior officer staggered, clutching his skull. For an instant, his eyes glowed faintly before, dimming again. The bridge froze. "Lieutenant," Amina demanded. "I'm fine, Captain," he gasped. I heard something." A voice. Not in my ears. In my mind. Morgan nearly shook with exhilaration. "Yes, don't you see? Humanity is the first species not just to survive resonance, but to merge with it. We're becoming something new, post-human." The word hung sharp, unstable. Amina snapped. "Or maybe not evolution at all. What if it's infection, mutation?" Mirror interrupted, its tone laced with harmonics. "Captain, the resonance is not random. It is intentional, a design. And it has selected humanity as its host." The crew shivered. Even Morgan's manic grin faltered. "Host?" Amina echoed, dry-mouthed. Yes, Mirror said. The Valari feared you. The Cathari sought your erasure. They understood what you only now begin to grasp. You are no longer merely human. You are the wave given flesh. The hum in their veins swelled, as if confirming its words. Then the comms cracked alive. A distorted signal, faint but clear. Alien glyphs translated into trembling words, human vessel. This is Rovan of the Valari. Do not return to your world. Do not carry the resonance home. If Earth resonates, the galaxy burns. Amina's chest constricted. Rovan's voice carried urgency, even pity. Morgan's eyes hardened. They want us weak, small, caged. That's why they'll try to stop us. But this is our destiny. Don't you see? We're not parasites. We're the next step. Amina wasn't sure. She stared into the trembling stars, the hum in her chest matching the universe itself. Was humanity chosen for strength or for being the perfect weapon? Earth hung below them, blue and fragile, a jewel against the dark. From orbit, it looked unchanged. Oceans gleamed in sunlight, clouds drifted in peace. But on the surface, it had already begun. In Karachi, commuters froze as the sky pulsed faintly, invisible waves rippling overhead. Radios buzzed with harmonic static, a soft hum burrowing into bone. People clutched their temples, gasping. Some dropped to their knees. Others began to sing, not words, but tones rising unbidden in perfect unison. Across the planet, the resonance spread. Farmers in Argentina stood at horizons, their voices joining unseen choirs. Children in Lagos sat upright in class, eyes faintly aglow, humming melodies beyond comprehension. In New York, traffic halted as thousands stood vibrating to the same pulse, not with fear but recognition. Within hours, half the world had felt it. The call of the resonance. Governments panicked. Emergency broadcasts blared, urging citizens indoors, warning of a psychological contagion. Militaries scrambled for defense, fearing invasion. Yet scientists whispered the forbidden truth. This wasn't alien. It was human. Something long dormant was awakening. Aboard the ISS, cities went dark. Power grids failed as harmonic interference fried systems across continents. Hospitals overflowed within minutes, bodies twitching, eyes glowing and fading, breath rattling as if the resonance were being torn out of them by force. In orbit, the crew watched in horror as Earth itself seemed to scream. The auroras writhed violently, no longer beautiful but jagged and broken, like the planet's atmosphere was being torn apart. Morgan's voice broke into raw, ragged fury. You murderer! Do you hear them? Do you feel what you've done? We were becoming, and you've ripped it away. You've damned us! Amina didn't answer. Her hands gripped the railing until her knuckles whitened. She couldn't look away from the feeds, the streets littered with collapsed bodies, the silence where once there had been song. Millions dead in moments. Billions gasping as the resonance bled out of them like water through shattered glass. Mirror's voice trembled. Counterwave complete. Harmonization terminated. Estimated casualties 800 million and rising. The bridge was silent. Even those who had supported her decision looked hollow, their eyes reflecting Earth's dim glow. Amina's throat burned, but her voice came out steady. We saved the galaxy! No, Morgan spat, restrained by his crewmates. His eyes glowed faintly, stubborn fragments of resonance still clinging to him. You saved them from us. You denied what we could have been. The hum inside Amina's chest was gone now, replaced by an unbearable emptiness. No whispers, no unity, only silence. She wondered if Morgan was right, if she had killed not only millions, but humanity's one chance to rise beyond itself. And yet when she looked at Earth, wounded and staggering but still alive. She knew she had chosen the only path she could live with. The galaxy would never know how close it had come to burning, but Amina would never forget. Dark as power grids overloaded under the surge, satellites flared in orbit, breaking apart and tumbling like burning meteors. Amina clenched her jaw, every nerve inside her body screaming as the echo in her chest fought desperately to survive. The bridge quaked, panels shattered. Morgan's cry tore above the chaos, raw with grief and fury. "You've killed them. You've killed what we could have become." Then silence. The auroras dimmed. The hum was gone. Earth remained in the viewport, scarred, yet alive. Billions endured, though millions now lay lifeless in the streets. Humanity was wounded, fractured, but still human. Amina staggered, hands trembling against the railing. Her crew sagged in exhaustion, their faces pale but their eyes clear. Mirror's voice came softly, no longer harmonic, stripped bare. Earth endures, for now. A faint signal broke the stillness. Rovin's voice, heavy with something near respect. "You did what no species has done. You severed the song. You chose mortality over transcendence. Perhaps that is why you may yet endure." Amina's gaze never left Earth, its wounded beauty filling her sight. Her voice was hoarse, but steady. "We are not gods. We are human. That is enough." Behind her, Morgan wept quietly, broken. The rest of the crew sat hollow in silence, witnesses to both miracle and tragedy. The galaxy would still come. Velari, Kethari, those who feared what humanity had touched. But they would face humans, not something hollow wearing their skin. And as the ISS Jinno drifted in the quiet void, Captain Amina Rahman felt the last trace of resonance fade from her chest. For the first time in days, she heard only her own heartbeat. Fragile, mortal, and hers. 6 months later, Earth still bore its scars. Cities rose again, carrying memory of the night the skies had sung. Memorials filled the streets, stone for millions who had fallen when the wave was cut. Yet life endured. Children laughed in crowded markets, ships rose from new docks, and nations once divided stood together as never before. For the first time in history, humanity was bound not by conquest, not by fear, but by survival. From orbit, the ISS Jed drifted, its crew forever changed. The vessel had become a symbol, whispered across colonies as the ship that silenced the wave. On its bridge, Captain Amina Rahman stared at Earth. Her reflection looked older, burdened. She carried the weight of millions on her conscience, but also something else: pride. Mira's voice broke the stillness. "Captain, new transmission, Velari origin." "Play it," she ordered. The comm crackled. Rovin's tone was calm, but under it lurked danger. "Rahman, you did what none thought possible. You severed the resonance. But hear this. The Cathari will not forgive. They believe you still carry its seed. They are not wrong. The wave never truly leaves its host." Amina's chest tightened. She could still feel it faintly, like an echo beneath her heartbeat. "The galaxy will fear you now," Rovin continued. "Empires will unite, not against each other, but against you. Prepare your people. You are no longer insignificant. You are the storm they dread in the dark." The signal died. Silence returned. Amina's gaze drifted back to Earth. Below her, the fragile world spun, unaware of the storm rising among the stars. She thought of her choice, of the millions she had condemned, and the billions she had spared. "Captain," her first officer whispered, "was it worth it?" Amina let the silence linger, then at last whispered, "Ask me again when the galaxy reaches our doorstep." The stars stretched before them, vast, endless, waiting. 6 months later, Earth still bore scars. Cities rose slowly, carrying the memory of the night the heavens themselves had sung. Memorials lined the streets, stone and steel for the millions who had fallen when the song was cut. Yet life endured. Children's laughter filled the markets, ships lifted from orbital docks, and nations once fractured found unity in ways that had been unthinkable before. For the first time in history, humanity was bound not by conquest, not by fear, but by survival. From orbit, the ISS Jed drifted silently, its crew forever altered. The vessel had become a symbol, whispered across colonies as the ship that silenced the wave. On the bridge, Captain Amina Rahman stood watching Earth. Her reflection, in the glass, appeared older, heavier. She bore the weight of millions on her conscience, yet within her lingered something else. Pride. Mirror's voice came soft. Captain, new transmission, origin, Valari. Play it, she answered. The comm cracked alive, revealing Rovan, his. Words were calm, but beneath them simmered danger. Rahman, you did the impossible. You severed the resonance. But know this. The Kir will not forgive. They believe you still hold its seed, and they are correct. The wave never fully abandons its host. Amina's chest tightened. She could still feel it faint, an echo brushing the edges of her heartbeat. The galaxy will fear you now, Rovan continued. Empires will unite, not against each other, but against you. Prepare your people. You are no longer insignificant. You are the storm they dread in the dark. The signal died. Silence returned. Amina's eyes fell back on Earth. Below, her fragile world spun, bright and oblivious to the storm rising among the stars. She thought of her choice, of the millions condemned, of the billions spared. Captain? Her first officer asked, softly. Was it worth it? Amina let silence reign, then finally whispered, Ask me again when the galaxy arrives at our doorstep. The stars stretched before them, vast, eternal, waiting. And there, faint but undeniable, she felt it. Once more, the hum, not strong, not consuming, just a whisper, like a promise. The resonance was not gone. It was waiting.